Hello, everyone. I'm Jair. I'm a former Mariposa, and I'm here with Diana Perez, interviewing local elected officials on civic engagement.
Hello there. My name is Diana Perez. I am a city council member for City of Vancouver, Washington. This is my fourth year, and I will be running for reelection for my next term.
Thank you. We'll get started. How would you explain civic engagement, and could you give us some examples?
Sure. Civic engagement is any time you're engaging with policymakers or the government system, you're involved in your voice, lending your voice, you're involved in volunteering, you're involved in sitting down and meeting with an elected official or anything having to do with government, civic governments, right? So whether it's providing comments on a public comment period, for example, an environmental impact statement or environmental analysis. So, any type of project that any type of government jurisdiction is putting out for the public to comment on, and you go in and you comment. So, there's different ways to have civic engagement, but the best one is your voice and one on one and practicing practicing bringing other voices into the room. So, engagement, voting is a big one. Getting involved in any type of project or activities, meeting with your elected officials, or any type of city government, county, state, federal, ports, anything that's paid by the taxes, your taxes. It's public domain. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you. What local boards, commissions, or advisory committees are available for the youth to join? And when we say youth, we usually mean like high school age and stuff.
Okay. Okay. Well, at least for the city of Vancouver, we have uh, a couple of boards and commissions, a few, three, that for the ages between 18 and 25, young adult and youth. It depends on what people define as youth. So for those, it's the Urban Forestry Commission, the Culture, Arts, and Heritage Commission, and the Parks and Recreation Board Commission. So those three for sure are new. To have 18 and 20, 25-year-old youth specific seats that we added. That's something that I brought to the city to ensure that we were focusing on those voices. So those are some of the opportunities. I think the other opportunity is to volunteer with some of the city activities. So through the Parks and Rec, through maybe even the PALs, some of the law enforcement stuff. So just looking for any type of volunteer activity is another good way to get yourself more involved.
Thank you. What kind of skills would youth learn if they were to join these like boards, committees, and advisories? And or what did right what sorry, are there any resources you recommend?
Yeah. Great question. I think there's a couple of really good skills to start developing now. One is the ability to speak publicly, public speaking. So, one great resource is Toastmasters, Toastmasters International, which is an organization that really helps folks gain the confidence with public speaking. And there's different types of public speaking. Humorous, serious, instructional, right? So you get to learn about the differences in the different types of speech and just to be able to speak on your feet, what we call impromptu, to where you can like develop a speech and have a speech writer and such. So one of the big things is to be confident in using your voice and being your own agency. And what you mean by agency is like you have a lot of power to do what you want. Never hold yourself back because of you don't see yourself doing it, you're too afraid, you've never done it, you don't know how to start, just put away that fear. And sometimes that first step is always the hardest step. And once you start doing the steps, you get over that um, fear or uncertainty of what's next, because now you've strengthened your steps, if that makes any sense. So, public speaking is another one. The other one is follow through. And I think that that's such an important, not just for youth, but for adults as well. And by follow through is ensuring that you're not over promising and under delivering, and that you are responsive. And if you don't know the answer, it's okay to say, I don't know. Can I get back to you? Or I need more time to think about that. Let me get back to you. Right? Versus just not responding at all. So I think that's one clear area that I think many need to develop as far as those skills. And then being able to practice that voice, taking your voice and going to, if there's something that is near and dear to your heart, just go to a public meeting and testify. You can testify about anything, provide public testament. Actually, get an email of an elected official and request a sit down meeting, just like you and I are sitting here talking. Hey, I've been concerned about this in my neighborhood, or, this that's happening in our community, or have you all thought about this new way of doing something? I mean, those are all great ideas that elected officials love to hear, new ideas, and just being in touch with members of the community on issues, because we can't be everywhere and we can't be with everybody. So when you come and ask to meet, that really helps.
Thank you. From your perspective, what is the importance of seeing youth engage in their communities?
I think that there's an entire community that we often don't hear from, and that's the community of youth. And I believe that that's probably our loudest in terms of a voice, if we were to hear it. And it's also the strongest, because who would not love to support our youth? Tell me, who would not love to support our youth? And I think that it brings a different lens that we have forgotten about, and that we are no longer living because we're in a different stage of our life. So just recognizing that there's, just like for the elderly, there's a different stage of life for the elderly. Those are the areas that we need to ensure that we hear from, so that we have a good sense of community health, that we're hearing from our youth, that we're hearing from our elderly, people with disabilities, and other special community groups. But I think for youth, that is an untapped resource of talent and knowledge and skill that I think our entire society could benefit from if we had more opportunities, or if youth were more engaged, right? Just, wouldn't it be awesome if there was like an organized youth group here that was all about youth who were really leaning in on the issues that the city has, or that the county, that you have now organized yourself into an entity that this is our view on transportation. This is our view on bike lanes. This is our view on neighborhood improvement, or our view on housing affordability, or just issues that really touch and are relevant to youth across the board, and that there is this organized group that would elevate those voices on that piece of governance that is missing. How powerful would that be?
Very powerful.
Yes, I welcome it.
um, What advice do you have for students in terms of civic engagement and community organizing? What do you wish you knew?
I would love for the youth to organize themselves into an entity where they, and I'm selfishly speaking, come to city council and advocate for a youth council or a youth advisory group to ensure that the voices and the lenses of the youth are incorporated in the governance system in a formal structure of an advisory group or a youth council. I would love that. And I know the county already has a youth commission, but that's for the county, right? And we need something that's focused here in the city of Vancouver because we're at like 200,000 and growing, and we're missing that lens for our youth, and so that would be my biggest hope.
Thank you. That kind of goes on to our next question. Are you available to meet with youth who are interested in civic engagement activities? If so, how could they reach out to you?
I am certainly available, and because I'm running for reelection, it's a little bit different, right? So there's opportunities there if they wanted to join me in my campaign as a volunteer. Great. I'm sure there are other elected officials like Sandra Zavala that's also running for reelection that they could support. Even the mayor who's running for reelection, or even our other city council members that are running for reelection. So tapping into those who are running for reelection, not just me and or this year, but next year, it's like, who do you support? Who do you want to be a part of? Because when you're in that campaign world, you are exposed to a completely different system of communication and projects and tasks and just a whole different view and experience that I think can catapult you into many other great areas to consider for your future.
Well, thank you so much, Diana, and thank you everyone who watched. Be sure to check out more elected official interviews. Thank you.
Thank you.